Hello, I am D.D. Sawant from J.A.T Art, Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon District, Nashik. Today's topic which I had chosen, that is a biosphere. Now all of you are knowing that the biosphere is a life supporting layer which surrounds the earth and makes plants and animals life possible without any protective device. So it is the area on earth where life is found. It includes any place on land, in the water, or in the atmosphere where organisms live. So, the organism world or biosphere is that part of the earth which contains living organisms. The biologically inhabited soil, air, and water. In 1982, J.T he had described in his theory that the biosphere consists of all the living organisms, means the biotic component, which is called as the energy component, and physical environment as the abiotic components. And there are continuous interaction between living organisms and physical environment and among the living organisms themselves. So the average thickness of the biosphere or life supporting layer consists of air, water, soil and rock is about 30 km. The upper limit of the biosphere is determined by the availability of oxygen, moisture, temperature and air pressure. Decrease in oxygen, moisture, temperature and air pressure with increase in height in the atmosphere limits the upper boundary of the biosphere. Though the NASA has discovered the presence of bacteria up to the height of 15 km in the atmosphere, but the lower layer of the atmosphere up to a few hundred meters accounts for most of the living organisms because favorable environmental conditions are available for the growth and development of living organisms in the lower part of the atmosphere. The lower limit of the biosphere are determined by the availability of required amount of oxygen and light which can sustain a life. Thus, the depth of the biosphere over the land is up to the depth of the deepest roots of the trees or the depth up to which can live the burrowing organisms or the depth at which lie the parent bedrocks. The biosphere extends up to greater depth in the oceans. The existence of life has been detected up to a depth of 9,000 meters in the deep oceanic trenches and deep sea plains. So this is the one of the diagram which is in front of you. So as a ecosystem is all the biotic factors and biotic factors found in a certain place at any time. Thus the biosphere is an example of a system as it composed basically three components. Number one, which is a organic component, for example plants, animals including man and microorganisms. Second one, that is a inorganic or abiotic components, for example physical environments as land, air, water. And third component which is called as a energy component. For example, to be given is that solar and geothermal energy. And these three components are mutually interdependent and are interrelated through a series of large scale cyclic mechanisms which make the input and output mechanisms effective in the biosphere. So, the biosphere is considered as an open system because there is a continuous flow of energy and output of matter. As long as the balance is maintained between the input of energy and matter and output of matter, the biospheric system remains in equilibrium condition. But when this critical balance is disturbed, the equilibrium state of the biospheric system is also disturbed, and several environmental and ecological problems crop up. It may be pointed out that the equilibrium state of the biospheric system, which is in a natural state, self sustaining, and ecological efficient, depends on the intimate relationship between various components of the biosphere and series of large scale cyclic mechanisms. As for example, energy cycle is there, hydrological cycle is there, sediment cycle is there, nutrient cycle is there, as various such type of systems which are being cycled, etc., collectively known as biogeochemical cycle. As these cycles influence the biotic, abiotic, and energy components of the biosphere, whereas in turn these components also influence the cyclic mechanisms involving the moments of transfer of energy, water sediments, and nutrient through the biospheric system. So here the groupism, if you'll see that the group of individuals of the same species living in the same area at the same time. So this is one of the groupism of the various living organisms as we called as the population. So the various types of species which are being living also, those are as a group of organisms so similar that they can breed and produce fertile offsprings. So ecosystem has been defined as a various aspects have been described in detail in the uh, characterized by total assemblage of biotic community and abiotic components together with energy components. So the consisting of biotic components as a plants, animals including man and microorganisms. These are the biospheric ecosystem is affected and modified by certain factors either directly or indirectly. So the habitat, uh, if you'll see here how they are living, where they are living, what type of things which are being available to them, yeah, for the settlement, for the living, for their uh, own protection, such type of houses, yeah, habitat which had been made by the various animals. So here I conclude my lecture. Thank you very much.